guys, it's Kendra. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a homeschool update video and just chat about things that we're loving, new things we're trying, and kind of our rhythm right now. I feel like we're really in like this great groove and I'm just loving it so much. I didn't expect to like enjoy homeschooling as much as I have. It just feels so just right for our family. I also want to share some supplies that we really like, curriculum that I got, some Good and the Beautiful curriculum that I posted on my stories, and a lot of you wanted to get an update after we've been using it. So we've been using it for almost a month now, maybe not a month, a few weeks at least. So I want to share that with you guys too. We're gonna head outside today. It's so beautiful. Owen is with Graham today, so it's just me and the girls, which gives us kind of like a nice little, I don't know, just is some special one-on-one time with them, and we've been doing that for a long time now. He gets his time with his grandma and solo time for himself, and then also I get time with the girls, and it's because homeschooling with a toddler with the girls, that's the hardest part of homeschool. Like, the girls are a piece of cake. It's just keeping Owen entertained while I try to get stuff done with them. And it's quiet right now because the girls are at their co-op. They go one day a week to that, but it's gonna stop soon because the mom who does it, who hosts it at her house, is pregnant, and so she needs some time before the baby to kind of get, take a break. So they are there right now, so I have to go pick them up very soon. But that has been so awesome. She offered to do this there's like 10 or so of the kids. They go for 4 hours in the mornings and they do a craft. They have their snack and lunch. She has like a little lesson for them, and it's about like TK up to second grade as the ages. So I'm just so grateful for her. All us moms are. She's just been like it's been so awesome for the kids. They love it so much. She used to be a 4th grade teacher and now she homeschools, but the girls just have made the best of friends with these little kids. It's so cute. But when they get home, this is kind of the stuff I laid out for us. And this is what I do every night. I'll lay out what I want to do the next morning. It makes things much smoother as we go. So over there we have like our little library and whatnot. I keep all of our little math manipulatives and blocks and books over there. And then the stuff up here is more for me, stuff that I'm using, stuff that I don't necessarily want them to have on hand all the time. But yeah, it's all kept in that area. Later today, we're gonna do some watercoloring. I like doing this when Owen is not here because we only have 2 of these. So watercoloring to me is so much fun. I could do it just myself, but the girls also love it. So this is our favorite paper. This is just from Amazon, the mixed media. It's a little bit thicker cardstock and it just tears off. It's really easy. And what we're gonna do with this is color some flowers. So here are a few of the Good and the Beautiful things that I got. This is so pretty, the flower study. Oh my goodness. Okay, our girls just love flowers so much, so this could not be more perfect for them. And it just tells, okay, they're obsessed with California poppies right now. They're blooming here in Southern California. Well, I'm sure all over California, but whenever we see them, they're always like, California poppies. So what I want to do today is they each can pick out their own page, and then we will do watercolor of the flowers. So I thought we could do this outside. I thought that'd be such a fun thing to do with a little snack. Isn't this so pretty? And it just tells about them. So while they're coloring or painting, I will be reading about all the different flowers. So love that. This is another thing we got related to flowers. They have a lot of really great nature things on their website. The flower game though is really cute. You can play it a bunch of different ways, but it does have directions. Sometimes I just like to give the girls the cards and they kind of come up with their own things. And then when we go outside, I'm gonna read them a couple picture books. This is The Boy Who Loved Bugs. And then this is called Maria Marian. So just some fun books to have while we're outside together. I've showed this before on Instagram, the Drawing 100 Fun and Easy Birds. They have a tree one as well, but it has step-by-step pictures of how to draw animals. And what I do, I have the girls pick out a page. I'll give them a piece of blank paper and then they'll do this, but it's really helped them with learning how to draw things, and they think it's just super cute. So I really love these. All right, the girls are home. So I wanted to share, also we've been doing the Good and Beautiful math. So I just got one book of this and the girls really like it. We're on lesson 12. We just recently started it. It's definitely like Charlotte Mason themed. A lot of manipulatives and stories and just like ways of incorporating whatever the math lesson is into everyday life. So typically what I do for lessons with the girls, I have a clipboard for each of them and I do handwriting first for them, and then I have math under here. That's kind of like our go-to. We'll do our handwriting and our math in the mornings. This is the handwriting book I have. It's the level 1 handwriting. Lots of good stuff in here. And I just make copies of this. I just scan it on my printer and I give them each a copy. And I'm gonna save these books, like when Owen's older, we'll just use this again, but I just make copies for them. So I'll have one start with this and one will start with the math, and I'll work with the one on math together while the other does this independently. And that way I can be with her and it's just like our time doing this. It's not competitive. We're not rushing to see who gets what done first. It's separate subjects. It has been so beautiful lately. Our spring has just been so full of, everything's been so green, everything's blooming. It's not great for the allergies, but it's so pretty. So a lot of the times what I like to do when I'm reading a book to the girls is have them illustrate it in some way. So if we're inside, same thing. I'll find a picture book that kind of correlates to what we're talking about. I like to do unit studies and theme things based on the time of year. So now that we're in spring, we're doing a lot of nature topics, flowers, how plants grow and all of that. And also a lot of Easter, things centered around Easter and life. And I will find a book that relates to that. And then as I'm reading it, we'll kind of pause and I'll ask the girls questions. I'll have them draw what they think it means or draw a picture on the page. And it really just keeps them engaged as they're reading the book. And I just feel like it kind of strengthens whatever topic it is. All right, I have dinner going right now. I'm gonna have to show you guys some other stuff for homeschooling in the morning because it is 4 o'clock, and by 4 o'clock, we don't do any school stuff. Like, we're beyond the point of school. It is more like free play and relax, clean up and all of that. So I'm not gonna like have the girls sit down right now and do school, but I'll film more stuff tomorrow morning and just add that into this video. Okay, let's talk about if we're gonna do year-round school or traditional school year. I'm actually gonna do year-round. So I'm not going to be as strict if we have trips or whatever planned, because we do have a few things planned for this summer. But for me, I just want us to always be learning. So I don't want them to like think that it's always like quote unquote school, but whenever we do go on a trip, like that's gonna be in my eyes like an educational trip too. I'm gonna try to make it fun, obviously, but we're definitely gonna still do stuff. I know some people take the summer off. For me, I don't know. Part of me just wants to just keep going. And if I notice that they're like, maybe look burnout or something, then we'll just rein it back a little bit and do less, maybe just less during the week, take a full week off. And I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear. But no, I'm not planning on like taking the whole summer off. I'm just gonna like keep going. Best advice for filtering through all the different curriculums. There are so many to choose from. I would just say you have to kind of at some point stop doing research and just choose something or a few and try it out and just see how it goes. And also don't feel bad if you don't love it and it doesn't completely fit the criteria that you had in your eyes. Also keep in mind that it has to be something that works for your kids, not just for you, because sometimes there are things that I really love, but the girls aren't interested in. So I have to figure out like, okay, we're different learners. But definitely like you can ask around if you have friends, and you can obviously read reviews and just look at their sample pages, look at different curriculum sample pages and see if you like the whole overall feel of it. And yeah, I would just say, you have to try it. Honestly, the hardest part so far from homeschooling was just getting started. I felt totally overwhelmed and there was so much to do. I felt like I needed to buy all the supplies. Guys, I bought so much stuff and it was not all necessary. I think you need like good handwriting practice, I think is important for their age. I like doing that almost every day. And I also like doing a little bit of math. We're working on our reading and I'm trying to read a ton of books to them. I would think, like for me, reading has been the forefront of this year and our focus, and I just want them to enjoy reading. And now that they're starting to read, they are asking questions. Like if we're in the car, they're asking about like the title of the song that's playing. And so it's really cool to see it all kind of unfold. And it's really rewarding for myself, like seeing like, okay, this is working, because you're like doing stuff every day and you're like, okay, hopefully this is like setting in. And then you see something and you're like, wow, okay, this is really, really neat to see. How did I find a co-op in our area? Through friends, through word of mouth. My cousin and I had been talking about homeschool, and one of her friends just wanted a co-op and there wasn't really one that she knew of. So she literally just started one. Start your own private Facebook page, invite close friends of yours and tell them to invite friends of theirs. We try to keep it small and it's just like friends of friends, not just like a public group, because it can get big really quick. Like ours got to 90 moms really fast. So find people who you vibe with and you want to hang out with and want your kids to be around each other, and I honestly like make it happen, because I think there's probably a lot more people than you think who are also in a similar situation as yourself. How can you assess if they are on track for grade level? So for me, since our girls are TK right now, so they'll be kindergarten in the fall, but the curriculum we're doing is kindergarten. I started with TK, we did a language arts, that was TK. It was I think it was shorter than the like normal one than kindergarten, because we got through that pretty quickly. But now all of our curriculum is kindergarten. It was so funny. They're like, Mom, why does it say K on here? And I said, well, because you're doing kindergarten stuff. They go, no, we're TK. I'm like, well, you're doing kindergarten. It's kind of confusing, I feel like, when you're doing homeschool, because you just keep going. You don't just stop because your curriculum stops, then you buy a new curriculum for the next level. And so it kind of just runs into the next. My Instapot is starting to go. For me, just doing a little bit every day, 20 minutes per subject is generally what we do. So, but again, I don't have like a set limit. It's very free flowing at our house. In the mornings, we do our morning time. We sit together, we read a story or a poem. We work on our handwriting. We like to read in the morning. I feel like it warms us all up. We have our breakfast, and from there we'll go to math or reading, and usually they'll go play after that, and then we'll kind of regroup and we'll do a craft and read a book to kind of go along with the craft. And then by that time it's lunchtime, and then we have quiet time, and then it's like just free play after that. So it just feels very like free. Doing homeschool, I must say. It feels like we are so less rushed. Before, I felt like I was, having to drive to pick them up or to drop them off at school. And then when I was picking them up, I was stressed because Owen was napping. I had to wake Owen up from his nap early. Now everything kind of just works on our own terms. And if the girls are having like a day where they seem like super tired or something, then we do less and I just cater it to them. If they are like super motivated and focused in the morning, then we just like power through and we get a ton done. And I just play it by ear. So some days we get a lot of stuff done where I'm like, oh my gosh, we did so many things. Like we'll fly through a couple different lessons, where other days it seems like we're just going super slow. So for me, it all just kind of ends up catching up with each other. And it all just balances out. But I feel like I'm pretty relaxed with like the pace. I'm going at the pace of them. I'm not trying to rush them. I'm waiting until they they seem like they really understand whatever we're doing, and then we continue, you know? And also, since they're twins, that's why I was saying earlier, I try to do subjects different or like separate now. Before I would do it all together, we'd do the same things. And I was noticing that one would get really competitive with the other, and she would try to like hurry up doing everything and making sure they're doing everything at the exact same time. And it was just like, okay, slow down, like let's focus on what you're doing. So now that we do it separate, it's way better, way more relaxed, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna continue that from now on. How do you schedule everything? Do you start at a certain hour? Is each day a different subject? Is it hard? I would not say it's hard. I think you just have to be kind of prepping the night before definitely helps. Like, okay, let's have a general guide of what I would like to get done today, general topics that we'd like to cover. But no, I don't, like I said, my schedule is very loose. It's more like a couple bullet points of what I'd like to touch on, and then we go from there. Again, if they're not feeling something, if they look bored, I will try to switch gears and do something more fun. I will try to get us outside instead. I'll say, let's go on a walk, and we'll get our nature journals, and we'll bring our stuff outside and just like switch the scenery, switch it up. Let's go to the library. Let's go get new books. I don't ever want them to be like, ugh, we gotta do school. Like, that is my worst nightmare. If I ever see in their eyes that they're getting a little dazed over, then I will switch it up and I'll close the book and I'll say, okay, we're gonna do this now. And just to keep it interesting for them. We are gonna sign up for a charter soon. So that'll be for the next school year, for like in the fall. And then that gives you some funding. So you can use that for supplies, just like restock things. And you can also use it for your extracurricular activities, field trips, and all of that. So I think you meet with your, I don't know what they call them. They don't call them a teacher, something else, but I believe you meet once a month or every 2 weeks or something. And just to kind of go over what you're doing, just to make sure that, like, you know, you have a plan for what you are teaching your kids. And then I'm gonna put some Instagram accounts that I like to follow down below that are homeschool moms that have been doing this for many, many years, that have great resources, so many good pieces of advice and tips and products to get. And just, I've learned a lot through people who I follow on Instagram. So I'm gonna put like my top 5 or so down there for you guys if you want to follow those as well. Somebody asked, what do you say, or how do you deal with friends or family who disagree with it? So luckily our family, both of our families have been like super excited for it. There's probably some people who, I don't want to say they disagree, but they're just doing their own thing. Their kids are in school, which is totally fine. I was never a person, like 2 years ago, I never thought we'd be homeschooling. So I just think things change, life changes, and what you want out of school for your kids changes, and everybody has the right to do what they want to do is best for their kids. So honestly, I don't really care at this point of what other people are thinking of what I'm doing. Andrew actually mentioned that to me. It's funny that somebody asked that. We were just talking about this in the car yesterday, and he was like, well, they probably just think it's like weird or something. And I was like, I don't really care at this point. You know, this is like, I feel so confident in doing this for our kids, and I'm so happy doing it. It brings me so much joy, and I see how this has helped our girls so much. Their confidence has skyrocketed. They are way less anxious going places, and they have all these amazing friends now. So it's just really helped all of us out in so many ways. I feel like 2 years ago, we were just in such a different position, and I felt so much more stressed, and they probably fed off of my stress too. But I don't know, it just seems like this is where we're meant to be. And because of that, I have a lot of peace, and I feel just content with my decision in that. So it doesn't really matter what other people think about what we're doing, because I'm happy, the kids are happy, so that's all that matters. So something I do to kind of help block out our day is I see the morning time as our time where I want to get our schoolwork done. So meaning our math, our reading, our handwriting, all of that stuff. And then in the afternoon, we have more just like free play, lunchtime, and around 1 o'clock is our quiet time. So Owen goes down for his nap. The girls go in their rooms and they play independently. Sometimes they'll fall asleep, but pretty much now all the time they'll just play in their rooms. And a lot of the time they want to be together, but I try to have it be solo time just since they're together all day long. It's really good for them when they just have a little bit of quiet time by themselves. So once quiet time's over, we will spend a lot of the time in the kitchen together. I love baking with the kids, and Owen especially loves to bake with all of us. It's so cute. So we'll bake together, we'll do a craft, and just like helping me cook dinner. They'll always be in here helping out as well. And the afternoons are also when we'll just play outside together. We'll run errands, we'll take care of the plants outside, getting the mail. So just getting all the things that we need to get done, that tends to happen in the afternoons. And then the mornings is more like, I see it more as school time. All right, we are back. It is a new day. I also wanted to mention that one of the kind of methods of homeschool is called Waldorf style. And something I really like about what they kind of emphasize is having your kids help out around like normal things that you have to do around the house. So when I'm doing the dishes, they can help. When I'm doing laundry, they can help. And it's kind of like making your day just a communal thing. Yeah, I'll try to cut that off. One, it's just like good for them to learn these things, but also it takes the load off of you as the parent. Like there's so many things to do around the home and your kids are very capable. And I think that a lot of the time we think, okay, I can do this quicker and faster, but teaching them is like, there's so much value to that. And also just letting your kids know that they are so capable of doing all these things. They can easily empty the dishwasher. You just have to make it accessible for them. So like I put their plates low, so when the dishes are clean, they can know where to put them. And things are just like easy for them to use and to access. Same thing goes for their clothes. When I wash their clothes, I put them in their room and they can hang them up. They just have a little stool. So there's so many things that they can help with around the house. Also watering the plants, like they help me do that.
I'm getting the scissors for you.
Oh, are you?
I'm helping you.
You're helping me?
I'm getting them for you.
Okay.
I'll get them.
I wanted to share a book that really helped ease my anxiety when starting homeschool, and that is called Wild and Free. There's also a podcast. It's not really up to date. Like the most recent episode was kind of a while ago, but the episodes are still really good, and they're episodes that you can go back and listen to again. And like, I just want to soak up all that information. They're all very encouraging and give you great ideas and different perspectives. And after the book, it just left me just feeling excited and not overwhelmed. It just completely changed my perspective on everything. So if you have not read that, highly recommend to add that to your list, to your Amazon cart. And then in the meantime, listen to a few of the podcasts because they're seasoned moms that have so much great information. So Wild and Free is kind of its own type of homeschool or unschooling, but then there's Charlotte Mason, there's Waldorf, there's Eclectic. There's a lot of different like methods of homeschool. I have found for me and for our family, Eclectic is pretty accurate. It's kind of picking and choosing from different styles for different things. There's not one specific style that I fully want to do everything with. So I kind of just like picking and choosing and making it work for us. But it's really interesting just learning about all of them. I'd be really curious to know what you guys do if you homeschool. Let me know in the comments what kind of style you lean towards and why. And I would just love to hear that.
Find the lobster. Lobster? No,
Lobster?
It's not on that page.
Oh, right here. It's a scorpion.
Find the scorpion one. Find it. I can't find it. It's right there, right there.
He's on the ground somewhere crawling.
Weird. Oh, it's by
By the cactus. Yeah. Circle it. I figured I'd go through and answer some more questions. I got some more from you guys. So a few people are asking about Owen, what I do with him. And honestly, the girls are the easy part of homeschooling. Owen's the hard part. So A lot of the times I feel like if I just give him some solo attention before we start, he's much better if I give him like a little snack or a little something to do. He just knows that he's not the one getting attention, and so he'll act up because of that. So he's totally fine when we're doing like a craft because we can do that together. When we're reading a book, he's totally fine, but it's when I'm doing stuff one-on-one with them when he kind of just is like trying to do all the things that he's not supposed to be doing. So blocks, just giving him little things to play with and keeping him entertained is the tricky part. And some people ask if I'm doing like actual school stuff with Owen. I'm not forcing anything with the girls too. I kind of just wait until they're like wanting to do something. So I actually noticed today for like the first time Owen wanted to be doing what they were doing as far as like the little book I have where you search for things, and he wanted a turn. So once I see that, then I kind of just like go with it, and I'll just give him little things that he can color. And then like when we're doing stuff on a whiteboard, I'll give him his own whiteboard, then he feels like he's a part of it. But at his age, I feel like a lot of the learning is just learning through the girls, through me, and just like daily stuff. He picks up a lot. And then I just try to build upon that. Somebody said, how do I get work done? It's pretty funny because if you guys remember when I first mentioned that I was thinking about homeschooling, I was like, yes, I probably won't film any videos anymore. And I feel like I have not really let up much. It's like I'll go 1 week with no videos, and then the next week I'll have 3 videos. So there are so many brands that come along that I really want to work with, that are brands that I'm like, well, that would be silly not to do something with them because they're somebody I'm using and loving. So it's hard to like switch gears. So I find myself working a lot more at night. Like if I'm editing videos, I do a lot of that at night once the kids are asleep. Which is hard for me because at the end of the day, I'm just so tired. But like when I do voiceovers now, that is usually at the end of the day. So I feel like my voiceovers, I sound a little tired now because it's like 9 o'clock. I really can't do much editing during the day. When kids are awake, I can't really sit on the computer and like edit because it's just way too distracting. And I also want to be present with them, but also quiet time is a good time to get stuff done. I try though now to not come straight into the office during their quiet time. I try to go outside for a little bit and read, or just to be outside for a little bit because it's like much better for me mentally. And also some questions about how I keep track of everything, like what we've gotten done. For me, if you're using an actual curriculum, it's just very straightforward because you're just going over the book. I saved some stuff, like I saved all their what was it, like TK language arts stuff. I don't really think I need to keep that though right now because it's not like we're going through a charter right now, and it's not like I have to really keep tabs of that stuff. I felt like right now it's just kind of like, you know, simple stuff. But as they get older, I'll definitely be keeping their stuff because it depends on what state you're with. Every state has different requirements for homeschool, so I would just recommend checking out what you are required to turn in. It really varies between states. How long do we think we will homeschool? I am just going to take it year by year. At this point, I don't see a reason for putting them in school because I just really love it and they really love it. So right now we're good. We'll see as they get older and in different subjects, like if they're craving something else that maybe I can't give them at that point. But we're really open to tutors. Like if there's a specific subject that we need help with, math or whatever, we'll just hire a tutor. And also as they get older in like more advanced subjects, there's a lot of online stuff. And I have a friend who has kids who are in high school and they're just like thriving in it. So there's just so many options now. I'm really not worrying about it. At the moment, we're just kind of in our lane and we'll take it as each year comes. Like same thing goes for high school. We're not like 100% gonna be homeschooling them for high school, but we're also not 100% thinking we're gonna send them. So it really just depends on where we're all at that point, and also where like schools are at that point. I feel like most of these questions are about schedules and figuring out how long to spend on certain subjects. for like our reading, it says it recommends 20 minutes a day. And again, if they are doing really well, then we'll keep going. If they're kind of done, we'll stop and pause right there. It did not take me long to realize that what they're getting done in traditional school setting is going to take way longer than it will here at home, because I'm with just 2 children teaching them versus a class of 20 or 30. So the amount of stuff that I can get done in 30 minutes is a lot of stuff. Like, we can really do a lot and it's not rushed at all. For the first couple weeks, it takes some like getting used to and like getting yourself into a routine and just a flow. But we don't even have a set routine. I call it a rhythm, because it's not like I schedule out time chunks. It kind of just flows with our day. Like today, we had tennis early in the morning, so we didn't get any school stuff done. Sometimes if we're up early, we'll get our stuff done like super early, but today that didn't happen. But when we got home, we had lunch, and then we regrouped and we got some math and other stuff done. So every day is different. But yeah, I don't do like time chunks for things at all. It's more so seeing like how they're doing in something and feeling out like them individually versus just getting a specific lesson done, if that makes sense. The other benefit of homeschool is you can slow down or pick up the pace depending on your kids. So you're not on just like a set course. If the girls, like, I keep bringing up math, but we've been doing the math book a lot lately. They go pretty quickly through the math stuff. And some of the stuff's a little easy for them right now. So we're just kind of breezing through some of it. But as it gets harder, then obviously we'll slow the pace down and we'll wait until both of them feel good in what they're doing. Somebody said, how do you keep up with housework while keeping up with schoolwork? Like I said earlier, they are helping me too. So when we're cleaning up, we do a big sweep, we call it, in the morning and in the evening. So before we start school stuff, we make sure everything's kind of fairly picked up downstairs, and also after dinner we do the same thing, and everybody's responsible for their stuff. Usually I'll say everybody pick up 5 things and put them back where they belong, or pick up 5 things that are off on the ground. What do you do on days where you just don't feel up to it? Tips for pushing through. If there ever is an off day, or maybe I'm just feeling tired or whatever the case is, we will make that more of like a creative day. So I'll give them things to do, but they can kind of spend more time in it. Like, I'll bring out the puzzles, I'll bring out crafts that they can do. Doesn't require a ton of hands-on stuff for me. Like paints, watercolors are all easy. I'll let them like cut and paste different things. I will pull out all the blocks and they can build a bunch of things with the Magnetiles. So there's a lot of different things you can do where they're still learning and playing, but not just plopping them down to watch a movie, but doesn't require like me to be physically with them, teaching them 24/7. I also think that's good too. I want them to be independent learners and independent players, and they are just super creative now. Like when they're outside playing, they could just get in the zone. They are just the greatest little players. So I hope you all found this video helpful. I will do these kind of every couple months just to give you guys an update and share things that we're using and really liking. But I hope you guys all found this helpful, and that's gonna be it for today's vlog. I will see you guys all very soon.